Hi guys, I'm coming at you today with a very different video of photos from the Chartham mental asylum that I visited back in 2014. These photos was never meant to be on YouTube, but I think it is very important to show these photos and let people know the history, because in the coming years the last of the remaining buildings are going to be knocked down and they're going to be made into houses, just like some of the older buildings that were already made into houses in the 90s. So let's get on with the video and let's teach you some history about this, and let's tell you about what the hospital was. It's known locally as the Chartham Mental Asylum, but its original name was St Augustines Hospital. It is in the Chartham Downs, which is 3 miles outside of Canterbury in Kent, which is where I used to live. So, the hospital was originally opened in 1876. It was originally opened because the Maidstone Hospital was not large enough to house all of the residents that were there. The first building was only meant to hold 870 people, but it slowly grew from a 120-acre site to a 300-acre site, where many more buildings were built, including a building specifically for mentally ill children, or what they would class in them times as mentally ill children, and it would hold up to 2,000 patients and 73 residential staff that would always be on site. It was originally run by a committee of quarter seasons, with responsibilities passing over to Kent County Council in 1889. By the 1920s, it had changed hands again, and it was taken over by Kent County Mental Committee, and it was renamed to the Kent County Mental Hospital. It then became a part of the National Health Service in 1948. The two pictures you have just seen, and this one now, are from what I believe to be the main children's unit, because of the colours on the wall, and it just looks very childlike. That is the only building I could make out for sure what it was for. But back to the history of it. Like I said, it did grow from 120 acres to 300 acres, and by the 1920s it had become a self-contained village which had its own farm, its own butchers, bakers, patient workshop, patient school, the fire brigade, a church, its own graveyard and cricket teams. Male patients would work on the farm, while female patients would work in the laundry department and learn to become seamstresses. This slowly stopped, and the village had died out by the time that the National Health Service took over the hospital in 1948. Sadly, it did close in 1993 due to neglect, degrading treatment, degrading care of residents, malpractice and mismanagement. It lay completely abandoned until 1997, when many buildings were demolished and a housing estate was put up, which is now known as the St Augustines estate. A few buildings do remain. The buildings that are said to remain are the Children's Hospital, which I believe I personally see due to what was painted on the walls, the administration building, and part of the main hospital buildings. It is also said that round the back there is a hatch that goes down to an underground treatment centre, which was used for electric convulsive therapy. There is said to still be not working, but still known things in the area that would have been used for this kind of therapy. I myself didn't go down there because it is known to be very unsafe. The stairs down are very worn and very broken, so that is an area as much as I wanted to, I didn't even attempt to find or go down. There was also said to be a chapel, which I didn't find, and I believe in the early 2000s, part of the remaining buildings were set alight by children, and I believe this is a building that was lost. This is all I know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed some of the pictures I showed you, and I hope I taught you a small amount about the hospital itself and the history. So I am off, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.